Every day, in conference rooms around the world, legions of business executives, like all of you, gather with flip charts and plates of cookies and try to be creative. You tell yourselves to let loose. There are no bad ideas. We need a blue sky, unconstrained session. Think outside the box. If your psyche is bringing you back to painful, repressed memories of brainstorms gone bad, or sessions where nothing really changed as a result, you are not alone. You are not alone. Because at the end of the day, most of these sessions yield a long list of mostly useless tweaks. Perhaps some gibberish like this. Perhaps some fodder for a Dilbert cartoon, but rarely the breakthrough ideas that we all crave. It's a paradox. Creativity has never been more essential to competitiveness in the business world, and the lifespan of a good idea is shorter than ever. But at the same time, the critical capability for practical creativity in individuals and in organizations is very often lacking. The key to creativity is doubt. This is not a popular thing to say. Leaders are not expected to show any doubt, and the word itself has a very negative connotation. But let that go. Embrace doubt. Doubt that doubt is bad. Doubt that everything you think you know is in fact the case. Doubt that the way you've always gotten things done will always work. Doubt that the rules you've been operating under can't be broken. Doubt that the mental models you're using to look at the world around you are the only possible way to look at it. If you have the courage to take a step back and to break free of the mental models that you use to simplify and interpret the world in front of you, then you can have a breakthrough. And you can do it in an amazingly successful creative session without coming up with a single new idea, as long as you start with doubt. George Orwell said that to see what is in front of one's nose requires a constant struggle. And the point of doubt is to open your eyes to the ways in which your mental models are holding you captive. It's about releasing the constraints, removing the blinders that you have on, and understanding the assumptions, like this is the way we do things around here, that get us through each day. But all of us cannot help but think using all of these mental models or boxes. We have no choice. And so thinking outside the box actually makes no sense. Doubt means recognizing that all of your boxes are only working hypotheses, that they are subject to change. It means opening up your mind and being willing to find useful new boxes for whatever the problem is that you're trying to address. There are many successful and less successful examples of doubt from throughout history. Henry Ford was an amazing innovator. After all, he started with the Model A. And by the time he made his way to the Model T Ford, it became a real status symbol in the urban environment. It was the first real car for the masses. But as the world kept turning, General Motors and others came up with higher-end and lower-end cars in different colors. And Henry Ford famously said, "My customer can have any color car they want, as long as it's black." He failed to adapt, to change his boxes in time. He failed to doubt, and his company almost went bankrupt as a result. But when the Model T, this status symbol in the urban environment, spread to the countryside, farmers would buy one, remove the back row of seats, and use it to haul their tools and hay and produce. And it took 19 years of that for the first pickup truck to be invented. 19 years of people refusing to doubt their boxes, refusing to change this mental model of the car as a status symbol in the urban environment. Bic is a pen company, a French pen company, founded after World War II. And in fact, for 30 years, they made only pens. So imagine a brainstorming session at Bic in the early 1970s. You might say, "We can make 4-colored pens." And you might say, "We can make erasable pens." And you might say, "We can make pens that say Marriott or Sheraton or TED on them," although TED didn't exist yet, still. Then you might say, "We can make razors." Now, the immediate, instinctive reaction of all of your colleagues in the room, mais non, c'est pas possible. You're crazy. We are a pen company. We are a pen company. But with a dose of doubt, if you challenge your perspectives and think maybe we can be a company that manufactures and distributes disposable plastic consumer goods. It doesn't roll off the tongue in the same way. But still, with a dose of doubt, Bic opened the door to lighters and razors and so much more in the past 4 decades. Modern leaders can provide some surprising examples of doubt as well. Pope Francis, when asked a question recently about gay priests, responded with a question of his own. Who am I to judge? That is the kind of doubt and humility that great leaders demonstrate, especially when everyone around them is telling them that they're infallible. And so no matter how great a leader or manager you are still a human being who is drawn to the status quo, who is imprisoned by your existing boxes. Take the time, deliberately and regularly, to list the assumptions and constraints and boxes that you're using to interpret the world in front of you. The ways you're thinking about your company, your customers, your competitors, and your life. And then think about which of those boxes are ready for a change. Which of those boxes need to be refreshed? It's not easy. And it's certainly harder than bringing people together in a room and saying, we need growth. Think outside the box. But if you can manage it, you'll be freeing yourself from the prisons you're in. You'll be allowing yourself to nurture many useful new boxes. And you'll be able to do it without coming up with a single new idea, as long as you can change an existing one. Bic, after all, didn't invent the disposable plastic lighter or razor. They simply had to change the way they looked at themselves. The flip charts and the cookies can help, but they're not required. Same thing for the latest technology. If you don't start with doubt, technology will just get you to the wrong place faster. Same thing with painting the walls a certain color or a change of scenery. All of these things can help, but they're neither necessary nor sufficient. The only thing that is absolutely required for practical creativity is to start with doubt. Thank you.